Good morning, everyone. My name is Jen. I'm from the GP Rock team, and I'm so excited to be coming to talk to you today on the next series in our pets, which is hamsters. So I have brought my friend Savannah's hamster called Sparky to meet you all today. Hamsters are nocturnal, so I hope that we can wake him up and you can watch him play around his cage a little bit. Hamsters have to be kept safe in their cage. So I collected Sparky from Savannah this morning in Chizzy. I then had to get fuel in Highlands. I collected some documents from Avondale. I took my daughter for a piano lesson, and Sparky came with me everywhere I went. But can we truly say that Sparky enjoyed this experience? Was he part of it? Did he go and walk around Avondale Flea Market? Did he buy fuel? Did he have a piano lesson and get to drive my car? No. How about if you go on a long trip with your family? Let's say we're driving on the beautiful new road out to Matari, and we drive through Marandera. Takes about 2 minutes. Can you say that you actually experienced Marandera? Do you know much about it? No. So, are we living like hamsters, where we just watch the world go by, or are we grabbing life and are we experiencing it to its full? Are we living life as a spectator and just looking out of the window, or are we seeking God's will for our life and seeing what more there is for us out there? There is a fantastic story in Matthew 14 about Peter, and Peter was so brave. He saw Jesus walking on the water towards him. He was on the boat with his disciples, and Jesus had stayed on land. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning, so it was still dark, and they saw someone walking towards them on the water. And at first, everybody was freaking out. It's a ghost, it's a ghost. Suddenly, they heard the Lord's voice, and Jesus said to them, "Courage, it's me. Don't be afraid." Peter thought, what? I want to do something like that. So Peter said, "Master, if it's you, call me to join you on the water." And Jesus said, "Come." So Peter plucked up the courage and he stepped out of that boat and he walked on the water. He didn't take his eyes off Jesus, and he trusted him with his whole heart. And from this, we can learn so many things about experiencing life and grabbing things for ourselves and seeing what is out there for us to take hold of. Peter stepped out in faith, firstly because he saw Jesus. He knew that it was God's will for him to step out of that boat. So if we see an opportunity, check with God first. Jesus, are you in this? Is this what you want me to do with my life? From there, we're going to make a decision and we're just going to go for it. When Jesus said, "Come, Peter," Peter didn't second guess Jesus. He didn't say, are you sure? Are you really sure? Are you sure I'm not going to drown? I don't have a life jacket. No, he jumped out of the boat and he knew that he had the skills to do what Jesus had said. There were many people in the Bible that behaved this way. Mary, when the angel came and said to her, "Mary, you are going to have a baby. It is the Messiah." Mary said, "Yes, Lord." When David was going out to fight Goliath, he said, "Yes, Lord, I will go. I will stand up for you." When Noah was told to build the boat with his sons, even though it took them 100 years, Noah did not falter because he knew that it was God's vision and God's wish for him to do it. So, when you know that you are in God's will and there is a plan, there is no room for hesitation. There is no need to stall. You step out of the boat and you give it a try. The last thing that we learn from Peter is to keep our focus. So as happy as he was walking on the waves, he could probably hear his disciples cheering for him from the boat. He suddenly got all nervous and he looked down. He took his eyes off the Lord, and of course he started to sink and he had to shout, "Lord, help me, help me." And Jesus, of course, grabbed his hand, set him back on the waves, and they managed to walk together. So if you're in God's will, no matter how scary it is and you feel like you're drowning, Jesus will catch you. Always. You are in the perfect place to be, and there will always be lessons to learn as you go along. Nothing's easy the first time we do it. So the more that we practice and the more we step out in faith, you can do it with Jesus' help. It takes great courage to step out of the boat. Be like Peter. Don't be like a little hamster sitting in its cage watching the world go by. Don't be like a Christian that's just isolated and you're feeling safe where you are and you're not stepping out and trying new things that come your way. If you're looking around and you can't find something new to do, create it. Find your passion and see if you can get some friends involved. We've got new clubs starting at school, sports are opening up again. Try something new. Check with God, do I have the time, do I have the capacity to put into this? And then go for it. We've been wanting to start a youth group for many months. And last week on Wednesday night, we met Auntie Helen and she said, why don't you start something? On Thursday morning, we sent out the messages, and on Friday, we had our first group with 10. This next Friday, we're going to have 16 kids. From one small thing, it's snowballing so fast. And it just took that little bit of step of faith and encouragement. And we're on a roll. I've noticed in my life that there are many different seasons. Things change a lot, but as long as I know that I'm in God's will, I can cope. There are going to be challenges in your life. There are exams, there are friendships that change, there are new challenges. But if you keep your eyes focused on Jesus and you know that you're in the right place, then you're going to be fine. Grab hold of things. If there is an adventure for you to go on, if there is a day out, there is a new friend for you to meet, then grab hold of these opportunities and know that Jesus will be with you. Don't be like a hamster. Be like Peter, be bold and brave, and grab hold of life to its fullest.